Hey there, everyone. I'm Samuel Johnson, and welcome back to the Alien Force Retrospectives. And today we're going to be looking at episode 39, Ben 10 Alien Force, The Con of Rath. If you can't tell by that creepy smile that I just had, I love this episode. And not because it's like the best written episode or because it has the deepest themes or whatever. No, this episode is dumb, but it is so fun. Here's what happens in the beginning of the episode. Ben, Gwen, and Kevin are getting ready to go to the beach, and well, Gwen's in a hurry because apparently she's been trying to do this for a month, but every time they try to go, something gets in the way. Either it's an alien attack, it rains, or there's an invasion. Pretty much every time they try, something gets in the way, and pretty much stops anything from happening. As such, that's why she wants to get this. She wants to do this quick because she's afraid that something will pop up just before they go, and unfortunately, she's right. As these two aliens suddenly teleport in front of the group, and they ask for Ben Tennyson. These are the Luodans from Luoda. What's going on is that they want Ben to act as an emissary for them, for the planet for them and go to the planet Pantophage, as apparently both planets are on the brink of war, and Luodans say that Luodans, in an attempt to stop it, are going to try and give the leader of the Pantophage a peace offering. In this case, their prince, which is a young baby that looks like the poo emoji, except he's white, called a Tiffin. In fact, one of the ambassadors is the Tiffin's mother, and she seems a little hesitant to hand her son over. However, Ben, being Ben and still kind of being annoying, he says he'll do it and that it's their job, and so the ambassador gives the group a golden credit cube, I suppose, which pretty much can pay for which has unlimited spending money, as Kevin says, and provides them with a ship. And so it becomes their mission to escort the Tiffin to Pantophage. However, just before they get on the ship, the Omnitrix starts sparking, and so Ben is just trying to hide it. But once they get on the ship and they're flying away, the Tiffin just starts flying around and doing its own thing. But as it keeps flying around, the Omnitrix just continues going crazy until it winds up activating on its own and transforms Ben into a new alien, Rath. A bipedal tiger alien with claws on the back of his wrists, super strength, and an immense temper to boot. Pretty much, because the instant Ben transforms into Rath, he tears off his chair and just throws it to the side. He yells, he roars at the Tiffin, tries swatting it away, and so when Kevin tries calming him down, he just throws him into a wall. And his entire personality is now changed, and so when they try fighting, as they fight to try and get calm Ben down, Gwen puts a bubble around his head that's supposed to incapacitate him. As he uses up all as in all of his yelling and his spazzing, he ends up using up his oxygen and passes out. When he wakes up, he's tied to the ship with Gwen's tethers, with mana tethers, and so we learn exactly what Ben is turned into. Apparently, he's turned into a Apoplexian, a race of aliens that are pretty much just wrestlers, so to speak, using their stage personas. They're smart. Well, not scratch that. They're idiots. They have anger management issues, and for them, most solutions can be solved by hitting it, or as Ben puts it, sometimes you have to hit it a lot harder. Bottom line, as long as Ben's Rath, it's not a good idea for him to be, he's going to be a problem. So they said that so Gwen and Kevin recommend that he deactivate the Omnitrix and try again. And while Ben is still angry, he's still smart enough to know that that's probably a good idea. Only when he tries to activate the Omnitrix, it doesn't work. He slaps the symbol many times, but nothing happens. And And it's becoming, as such, it becomes clear that whatever turned Ben into Wrath, he's not being, whatever caused the Omnitrix to activate, it's not going to deactivate anytime soon. So Ben, for pretty much the majority, for this entire episode, is stuck as Wrath. And that's exactly why I like this episode. Because this entire episode is just showing Ben being Wrath. Like him being confrontational, him being difficult, him being stupid, him just doing all these things, and it's glorious too. Like as they try and go to, because despite what happened to Ben, they have to go to Pantophage because they still have to deliver the Tiffin, even though because they still have to deliver the Tiffin, they have to avert a war, and while something's wrong with Ben, they have to worry about this bigger immediate threat for these two people. But along the way, they keep running into problems. They stop at an intergalactic restaurant and run into Argent and the Vreedle brothers, who it turns out that they're still alive. I mean, we actually get the explanation, and it turns out that apparently they're clones. Whenever apparently their parents bought a home clone set, but they got a lot of them. And unfortunately, the reason was because they were cheap, because they were past the expiration date. Hence why the Vreedle brothers are stupid. So pretty much what's going on is that whenever the Vreedle brothers whenever the Vreedle brothers blow up, there are more of them running around somewhere. Whether they share the same memories as their previous selves, we don't know. But bottom line, you can pretty much just blow up the Vreedle brothers and they'll come back later. But anyway, they run into the Vreedle brothers and have a shootout in the and have a fight in the restaurant. They end up. The incursions try to impede them because the incursions like war and this pretty much, and having a peace treaty between these two races is just not something they want. And on top of that, they even run into Volcanus because trying to fight off the incursions, they burn out their engines and incur. And the only thing that can help them is Titanite, and unfortunately, Volcanus has the only stash. And pretty much in every single situation, Ben either resolves the situation, makes it worse, or just does everything or just acts stupid as Rath. When in the restaurant, he's just there to get food. He's just there to get food, and he's just there to get food. And when a fight starts up, he's actually enjoying himself, but he doesn't get serious until Octagon Vreedle destroys all of his food, and he is pissed. And then when it came to the incursions, when they start heading them off, what did Ben do? Rather than getting a spacesuit, he said, "I'll go talk to them," and he didn't even get a spacesuit on. He just goes out of the ship, goes over to the incursion ship, and apparently beats the crap out of everyone on there. Goes to their leader, some vice admiral named Segfred. I don't know. I looked it up. I forgot it. But he tried and said, "I beat up everyone on this ship. You want to be one too, or are you gonna let us go?" It's just so dumb, and of course it backfires. But of course it backfires and the group has to outrun them and tricks them into going to a black hole by killing them. But yeah, you can say it's self-defense, but whatever. And then of course there's the stuff with Volcanus, and he already does not want to give them any Titanite at all because he doesn't like them. But Ben is right. But when Kevin tries negotiating with him to try and get the Titanite, Ben just goes up to him and just insults him, calling him a baby, saying that oh come on, it's a good deal considering that every time we run into you, we kick your ass. It's just nice. He just does not help in any way, or when he does help, it's just by just smashing things. There's like that, and that's kind of why I like the episode, because it just glorifies Rath. It shows what kind of an alien he is, that when Ben turns into him, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea because he's confrontational. He's strong. He may be strong, but he's an idiot. He has a short fuse. He does not help the situation. And the entire episode is them encountering problems and Ben fighting them off as Rath. It's just kind of funny and just stupid, all rolled into one, and I love it. And of course, and it's just really nice. And I think I can honestly say that with this episode kind of makes Rath one of my favorite aliens in the show. He's not my favorite. He's not like my favorite. We all know that's Alien X, but he's still on the list because not only does he have super strength, and as they kind of show in Octagon blasts him, he does have some slight invulnerability. But just from the personality, his confrontational attitude, that when Ben turns into him, he's definitely going to go for a show. He does not when Ben turns into Rath, he doesn't think of a plan. He just wants to go in and punch stuff. And that is exactly what makes him so funny. What makes him so awesomely stupid. And that's what makes it entertaining. When you see Rath on screen, you know you're in for a good time. Even if logically there's probably a lot of other people that are aliens that are better. And that's exactly why I like this episode. It just exemplifies what's fun about Rath. And of course, but again, they still show that, and again, there is still kind of a point to the episode. Kind of. It's generally filler, except for Rath. But pretty much, despite all the issues, they do manage to get to Pantophage with the Tiffin. But before they go, the Tiffin's mother comes in and begs the group to not go through with this. To which Ben responds, "Hey, and because he's Rath, that hey, you signed us up for this, and hey, you told us to do this. We're gonna do it." And what's actually kind of amusing is that Ben, in his Rath, he actually just he starts getting more attached to the Tiffin. Like, he does get aggravated by it, gets angry at it, but just little by little, he's warming up to it. Hold on a sec. Sorry, I had to let my dog in. But anyways, I think I was saying, I mentioned how Ben as Rath, was just growing more attached to the Tiffin, and so when they get to Pantophage, Ben is reluctant to hand it over, but they go to the king's court, and he's this big red guy. I forgot his name, and so they hand over the Tiffin, who's carrying a case looks like an egg. For some reason, the Llewellyns seem to have this egg motif or whatever. And so the Tiffin's a little afraid of the king, but the king, and so one of the king's servants, who looks like a chef, puts the Tiffin on what looks like either a cushion or something, and then the king just eats the Tiffin. Yep. It turns out and that's actually the reason why the mother was hesitant. It turned out that they knew that if they handed the Tiffin over, odds are the king would eat him. And quite frankly, Ben is not happy. So pretty much what he does is that he actually jumps towards the king, pulls his jaw apart, and then jumps down his throat. And you can just see the king convulsing. You see his stomach bulging just every here and there as Ben is just going nuts inside, until eventually he actually jumps out of his throat, even breaking his front teeth, and getting the Tiffin out. And of course, the king threatens that if they do this is war. To which Ben jumps up to him and says, "Let me tell you something. I just jumped down your throat. If you start a war with the Llewellyns, I will do it again. Only this time, I will knit your intestines into a sweater." And yes, and that does it. The king actually gets afraid. His eyes just shrink up to little pinpricks, and yeah, peace is restored because the giant tiger man is angry at you. This is so dumb. I love it. And at the end of pretty much after that, they leave, and the mother and the ambassador come in their own ship. And the mother is, of course, happy that her son's alive, and the ambassador is just thanking the group for negotiating peace, to which Ben responds, "Did you know they were going to eat him?" And while the ambassador is hesitant to answer the question, it's obvious he did know. And so Ben pretty much threatens him and says that he should never talk to him again. And so the mother thanks the group for restoring peace and keeping her son safe. The Llewellyns leave with the Tiffin, and just after they leave, the Omnitrix starts sparking again, and Ben transforms back. And so, yeah, it turns out that somehow the Tiffin was sending out some sort of energy that was interfering with the Omnitrix, and thus that's why it was acting up. As long as the Tiffin was around, the Omnitrix was acting wonky. As such, sorry, this is getting a lot more interruptions. I'm going to try and wrap this up quickly. Pretty much, and Kevin says that he kind of suspected but didn't say anything, and justifiably Ben's angry, and so the episode ends with him going Rath and threatening to beat the crap out of Kevin. So, yeah, I think this episode's dumb. I think this episode, from start to finish, with the premise and everything that happens in it, is dumb, but I love it. It is so enjoyably dumb. Like, it knows exactly what it is. It knows exactly what it should do. It knows exactly what parts to focus on to be dumb. And they just exemplify Rath. And everything he does is just over the top and crazy and stupid. But it's so entertaining in its stupidity. And it is lovely. It's just all lovely. And seeing him constantly confront all these issues, like the without even wanting to resort to peace or just doing that. He just wants to punch things, and even when someone else wants to go for peace, he interrupts and just makes it worse. It's just funny. It's just like the entire thing is just so dumb, but it is obviously having fun and reveling in its stupidity, and that's what I think makes it glorious. And really, that's kind of it. That's really the whole meat of the episode. Nothing really big comes about it. We get a new alien, which in Rath, and pretty much since the entire episode focuses on him, I feel like he's kind of the glue that holds everything together in this episode. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson. I'll see you next week. Take care.